Hello friends, I hope everyone is healthy. Friends, almost 9 years ago today, when Donald Trump first came to power, he completely changed the long-standing military policy and military strategy of the United States. Before that, Russia was considered the only strong competitor and threat to the existence of the United States in military policy. However, Donald Trump changed that and gave China a place. And Donald Trump confirmed in his speech that the only capable country in the world today to challenge the existence, leadership, and position of the United States is China. China is currently the main existential crisis of the United States, so we will unite all the forces and confront China now. We do not have time to focus on anything else. Donald Trump's thinking and his statement were 100% correct, which the United States is now gradually realizing. There is no such leadership, technology, or influence of the United States in the world today where China has not entered. Its leadership has taken some, the rest are on the verge of taking it. China has put countries like Iran in such a position with protection and military weapons, now even superpowers like the United States are thinking 3 times before attacking Iran. When the situation is so complicated, Donald Trump suddenly called Xi Jinping yesterday. There was a long discussion in this telephone conversation, and Donald Trump said in his speech that this telephone conversation was very important for the security of the whole world, where Donald Trump warned Xi Jinping that the final deadline has come. But now there is no international legal obligation. Starting a nuclear war or expanding nuclear technology has crossed its risky position. If China and Russia do not take urgent action, the entire world's security system will collapse. It is worth mentioning here that before the telephone conversation with Xi Jinping, Donald Trump had a long video conversation with Mr. Putin. Immediately after the video call, he spoke to Xi Jinping on the phone. These 3 superpowers, Russia, the United States, and China, want to make a new agreement on trilateral nuclear weapons, which has become binding. If this is not done, the world system will again enter the coldest position of a new nuclear war. The question is, what happens suddenly that Donald Trump himself is warning China and Russia that the deadline has passed, but we must take urgent action? Look at the New START, or New Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty. This is an important nuclear arms control agreement between the United States and Russia, which was signed in 2010. It limits the number of long-range nuclear weapons between the 2 countries so that the global nuclear arms race can be reduced. Initially, the agreement was for 10 years, which was the limit until 2021. But in 2021, the then US President Joe Biden and Russian President Mr. Putin extended it for another 5 years. That is, today, February 5th, 2026, is its last date. After that, there will be no more obligations to implement this agreement. Russia and the United States have thousands of nuclear bombs. If those thousands of nuclear bombs are ready to fire, then the risk of nuclear war increases. Because if each nuclear weapon is kept ready to fire, it also needs to be controlled and monitored. There are also technical challenges, because even if it is accidentally fired, it will be considered a nuclear weapon attack. Or if someone is mentally disturbed and attacks a military officer of a country, it can also turn into a nuclear war. That means the more nuclear weapons are deployed in a ready-to-fire state, the more nuclear wars will be. But that is why this agreement was made. According to the New START Treaty, both the United States and Russia will not be able to keep more than 1,550 long-range nuclear warheads that are suitable for use. You can keep it open separately, but you cannot keep it ready for use. Also, more than 700 ICBM, LBMs, or heavy bomber aircraft-launched nuclear bombs, more than 800 of which are ready to fire, cannot be kept ready to fire. This was an agreement, and according to this agreement, every year Russian technicians or engineers who have been in the United States and US technicians who have been in the 8 nuclear sites in Russia would visit for checks and balances. Is everyone following that rule? Today, February 5th, is the official end of that agreement. From today, the world has entered a new nuclear Cold War. because Russia and the United States are going to keep their nuclear weapons ready to fire on a large scale. Donald Trump has had an emergency telephone conversation with China and Russia on this very risky issue, so that this agreement can be renewed. And this time, not only with Russia, the United States wants to include China in this agreement, because China is also an emerging nuclear power, and they are rapidly increasing their nuclear weapons, for which the United States, Russia, and China are talking about a new agreement together in the New START agreement. And there is a possibility that negotiations will start on this issue, which is directly going to affect the war against countries like Iran. Look, the United States is directly threatening that if countries like Russia or China do not come to an agreement on this issue, or do not come to an agreement on the Iran issue or other nuclear issues at the negotiating table, then the United States will activate all its nearly 6,000 nuclear bombs, and they may start a new cold nuclear war on the battlefield. There was an urgent telephone conversation on this issue, and on the one hand, the United States has directly threatened Russia and China again. If these two countries do not urgently rein Iran's nuclear program and their high nuclear aspirations, then the United States is not interested in the New START agreement at all, and they will spread the threat of a new cold nuclear war worldwide, and they will activate their nuclear weapons that they have deactivated. In such a situation, Iran has rejected the talks that were held in Turkey. And in such a situation, the foreign ministers of the regional countries, meaning the countries on the coast of the Persian Sea, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, or other countries whose regional representatives have urgently telephoned the foreign minister of Iran. You can certainly see on the screen that this is a very important issue. The famous Iranian news agency Mehen News Agency and other news media, the truth of this news has been confirmed. The foreign minister of Saudi Arabia, the foreign minister of Qatar, and a few other foreign ministers have urgently telephoned the foreign minister of Iran and tried to make it clear to them that we will not allow our territory to be used in any attack against Iran. Although the reality is completely different, because all these countries have already made secret agreements with the United States and Israel, and the defense minister of Saudi Arabia has publicly stated that if Iran is not attacked now, their power will increase and they will no longer be stopped. Now, in this overall situation, it is a matter of seeing how much risk any country can take to implement its mission to protect the interests of any country. So friends, goodbye for today. See you again with a new video. Until then, everyone stays well and healthy. Thanks you all.